Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone, in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8, and this game is a sequel to a game we played like a week ago. Though I've played like a dozen or so of the games by the developer of this game. They're mainly known for the Test trilogy, so since this is also called the Test, I guess it would be like the Test 5. But I've played like a dozen, and most of them are kind of Test-style games. I've played some of them like 3 times. Sometimes, like, I know the first time I played some of the Test trilogy games was like 2 years ago, and then I played them again like 7 months ago, and I think I played a few other games like a month or something ago. I can't remember. But, heck, I can always go back through some of the things again. And I'm always open to suggestions for games. No guarantees on anything. Heck, I think one way I've put things is I promise nothing and I guarantee even less. And the only thing consistent about my channel is a complete lack of any professionalism. And my channel is basically whatever I feel like doing that day. But yeah, the Test, Secrets of the Soul 2. Got some lemon lime starry soda. By the way, since I feel like I have to admit that my mood has been a bit down. Then again, I mean, I've been working a shit ton of overtime. I mean, I used some vacation days, like what, October 16th? To have a week off, because I had bladder surgery. Which... And then I get back to work, and I basically have been working so many hours every week since then. 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, extra days. And of course, working basically as hard and as fast as I can while doing my job. And I'll be honest, I constantly feel like I'm kind of in a fog and kind of constantly in pain. I got other stuff going on. And I feel like at any day they're going to be like, oh, you fucked up on this part of your job. You're fired. Which, you know what? On the one hand, I'm like, my job pays my rent, so it's how I, have a place to live and I can afford video games. Because I do spend a decent amount of money on Steam, but hey, I have an obsessive and addictive personality, and this is my hobby, making videos on YouTube where it's basically Let's Plays, a little bit of attempt at comedy in a lot of videos, but a lot of times, like I said, it's whatever I feel like that day, and there's a lot of times where I just do terrible karaoke. I even try some Japanese and German, or read various books, or talk about things. Though here lately I just talk about my feelings, which, like I said, I do want to encourage other people to talk about, and to express themselves. I mean, because I think it makes me feel better. Though I do also recommend things like, say, going to the gym, or eating better, or sleeping better, or family, friends, stuff like that. Heck, like I was saying, I feel like I have to admit my mood's been kind of down, but then again, like I said, maybe that's, all the overtime and just work being kind of shitty. But like I said, I do appreciate my job because, it pays my rent and everything. But then again, part of me is like, hey, if my job fires me, then I have a tiny bit of savings. I can get by for a month or 2. Maybe I could just starve myself during that time, and then I won't be a fucking fat ass. Then again, I've made live streams where I actually, you guys can see my body type in the live stream videos. So if you ever want to see footage of a morbidly obese man with arms that are way too skinny, at least I spare you guys the need to have to vomit on yourselves by keeping the mask on. But, like I said, I have to admit, mood might be a little bit shitty, so I picked up this thing from a grocery store. It's OLLY, Ollie brand. They're called Hello Happy Gummy Worms for an upbeat mood with vitamin D and saffron. Because apparently saffron extract is supposed to help your mood. Or some things. Tropical zing flavor. So I guess pineapples and oranges. Let's see, sunny side up. These wiggly little guys deliver a delightful dose of cheer to help you feel upbeat. The star of the show, highly prized saffron, coveted for its powerful mood-balancing properties. Total Super Spice is plant-powered wonder, helps boost serotonin for those who feel good vibes. It's one of the most valuable spices on the planet and has been harvested for hand by centuries. I'm going to start taking one of these a day. Maybe it'll help. But like I said, about the whole talking about your guys' feeling things, I want to encourage other people to actually, talk to people. Now, granted, it'd probably be best to talk to, say, your family or friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, someone in real life that cares about you and someone you trust. But to each their own. I'm just a crazy guy who talks to my computer. So, I'm weird. But hey, like I said, I want to encourage other people to, express themselves as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting others. And like I said, there's always, if you got a problem in your life, there's always a good idea to try to do something to improve your life. But it's good to try to understand yourself a bit better. And heck, I know it's extremely selfish of me, but I'm I want to just talk about my feelings because it makes me feel better. And it helps me feel not so fucking alone. And granted, I kind of expect on a lot of things to probably get hate. Just because, I understand. I'm just, I'm complaining. I'm oh, I'm sad about this or that, or, oh, this bad thing happened, or I was just hey, work kind of went shitty. Like I said, sometimes it's I won't say I'm practically, but honestly, I'm judging myself as I'm basically just begging for, please, I'm sad, somebody care about me. It's oh, what are people going to say? We're sorry you feel kind of like shit, work's been going terrible, and you're doing a good job, and it's all the shitty things that happen sound like they suck. Here's a virtual head pat. But aside from me being kind of, just sad and pathetic, I do actually, the same way with singing songs, I feel like my voice is epilepsy for your ears. My singing voice is terrible. But I do want to encourage other people to sing. I want you guys to sing out loud, no matter how badly you might feel about your own voice. I want you to, whether you're bad at guitar, I want you to keep playing the guitar. Because keep in mind, it's not about trying to impress others. Now, granted, I understand if you're a band, you gotta, you're trying to make money off of it. I understand. But the main thing is this: if you ever play guitar, don't worry about what other people think. Granted, I'm the worst person to give advice about this stuff because I'm a terrible failure at everything. So, I don't know why you would listen to my advice on this because I'm terrible at guitar. But I'm just saying maybe if you're going to play guitar, you should just do it because you enjoy it without being overly critical on yourself. Hell, I'm the last person to tell people that I'm the last person that deserves to tell people to be nice to themselves. Given how much of a piece of shit I am to myself, my inner monologue is just constant hatred on myself. It's kind of funny. I'll say the nicest things to other people, but then I'm constantly saying the most vicious things to myself in my head. But like I said, I do encourage people to sing, play guitar, draw, go to the gym, try to learn a foreign language, socialize, get good sleep. But I guess one big thing, like I said, I don't deserve to say this to people because I don't exactly practice what I preach on this, but I want everyone out there to not be so overly critical on themselves and actually be nice to themselves. Hell, at the very least, if anyone out there, if you listen to this, do me a favor. Be nicer to yourself than I am to me. Okay? And also, yes, I'm going to take gummy worms from a grocery store that's supposed to make me feel, I guess, not so depressed, or something. That being said, if any of you actually feel the same way I do, I would strongly suggest seeing an actual doctor, not just a primary care doctor, but also a therapist, psychiatrist, all of that stuff. Because, going and get proper medical care, whether it's, the primary care, family doctor thing that, It's more so medical of the body as well as blood tests and stuff like that. Like, obviously, if you're feeling a bit groggy or something, maybe there might be something going on. Like, they need to test, like, different things of blood. I'm like, well, what are you testing? I don't know. Talk to the doctor. Like, maybe your cholesterol or something. Or sugar or salt or something else. Says the person who yawns into a fucking microphone. That being said, been working so much overtime since getting back to work from that surgery. And it's standing manual labor too, and it's constantly faster. And I feel like I'm a failure at everything in my life, whether it be my hobbies or just anything in my life, including my job. Like I said, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they're like, yeah, you fucked up your job. And everyone's like, what do you do for a living? I work for a company called Skynet. I build T-800s. And yes, partially that's a joke, but honestly, it's not really that far off from what I actually do. That being said, like I said, I feel stressed with my job and overworked, and not just in terms of too many hours, but also just the hours I spend there. It's just constant move. And it's like, oh my god. I mean, heck, there was, I think I talked about in a video or something a few weeks ago. I was so fucking pissed one day, I bit myself. Thank goodness I wear gloves when I work, otherwise I might have had to go to the fucking ER after that. I bit my left hand. Just been kind of stressed, and of course, there's always other stuff going on, but we all have, personal issues in our lives. And I'm sure all of you out there also have jobs that frustrate you too. And like I said, on the one hand, I'm pissed with my job and about to walk out on a daily basis. But I do appreciate my job because it, pays my bills. It doesn't pay poorly. It doesn't pay greatly, but it pays enough for me to, have a place to live, have internet, buy video games on Steam so I can make horrible quality videos on the internet. Because I just like rambling on my computer and I enjoy Let's Plays. Granted, it's like, I'm never going to make money off this. I don't ever want to make money off of it. I don't know why YouTube would ever want to monetize me, but even if YouTube ever offered to monetize me, I would wind up telling them no. I don't want to be monetized. I don't want to ever make a cent from this. I don't want it to be a job. I just want this to be the thing that I do because, well, I have a very, I'm going to say eccentric. I still refuse to say that I have autism because I've never been diagnosed with it, so who's to say? We'll just go with I'm half autistic. Because, and I still say I don't have ADHD. Even though when I listened to the Daniel Stern Bullet Train video where I tried to do a movie review, I'm like, Heck, there's a time I talked about anime. Well, that there was a down. There was a time I made some videos, a couple. I don't know, happy, it's jolly, it's good. Maybe I'll put a link to that one, just because I talk about anime and stuff. Because some of my videos I try to be upbeat and happy and stuff, and well, in general, I kind of want to do that, but it kind of devolves sometimes because I just want to talk about whatever's on my mind, and at this point, I'm basically just overwhelming anyone listening to the video, and he's like, he doesn't shut up. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. But it's most of the time at work, it's I can't really talk about even just casual socializing stuff because you're constantly working. And then most of I talk to someone, it's like, hey, we're having this issue with the machine, or this issue with the sensor, or this issue of a program. Oh, we need to move this here, or I gotta get this pallet there. But it's always, very sparse talking to anyone, and when you do, it's always job related. Not that I would ever want to talk to anyone at work or most other places about any of this stuff, because one, when I do talk about things, it's just a never-ending waterfall of just me being an annoying, cringy bastard. It's like, yay, it's Lunar, the most annoying person on the internet. Somehow I'm the most annoying person on the internet, yet I'm the most boring. It's like unintentional ASMR. You just start listening to me and you feel a mixture of pissed off and about to pass out. But yeah, like I said, I know it's weird for me to even assume anyone would even care or want to hear this stuff, and of course, but again, I want to encourage other people that if somehow you come across this video, I want to encourage you to at least, talk to your friends, your family, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, imaginary friends, stuffed animals. Pace your living room and talk to yourself. Or, just listen to like some Korn on your TV with the PlayStation and just sing along to Jonathan Davis. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying this. Thanks for being here, whoever's listening. If you have suggestions for games you'd actually want me to play, I'll at least, any suggestions you give me, I will consider them. But if I do get a game, I probably won't buy it until it's on sale. And even if I do consider it, I mean, there's no guarantee I'll buy a game just because it's suggested. At the very minimum, I'll put it on the wish list and I'll keep it in mind. But, yeah, no guarantees. But I'll at least consider any games. Same way if you wanted to hear karaoke of certain songs, but I think in general I might not do much karaoke anymore. I still want to try to learn how to speak German and Japanese. It's just, and like I said, just since getting back from that surgery, I've been working non-stop overtime. And it's been overwhelming and I've been exhausted. I really don't sleep the greatest. And even though I've been trying to force myself to sleep more lately, but of course, you can't really do that when you have to go back to work right away. But again, there's other jobs that work people more hours, and all in all, it's not a bad job. I have worked much worse jobs, so it's not a bad job. It's just I'm just constantly tired. I'm stressed from the work as well as other stuff outside of work. Heck, like I said, I feel like I'm a fat ass because I have this gut here. I don't drink beer, but I drink plenty of soda. I like my Pepsi, okay? And of course, like I said, I got like a lemon lime soda right now. But it's just, I guess at least if my job ever does fire me, I can just stay at home and starve myself for a while, and then I won't be fat. Who knows, maybe then I'll feel better about myself? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Does anyone else constantly feel like they're a worthless piece of garbage, and that they're stupid and everyone hates them and wants them to die? I may have a slight paranoia from like I mentioned a few times, I got the shit kicked out of me so much when I was in school. Heck, from the time I was 5 years old to like 17 years old. Both in school and out of school and stuff not even related to school or other students. Heck, I think at one point I asked a question, like, what's the maximum number of, physical assaults you can suffer and not have mental issues? And it's like, it turns out that number is apparently 0. Not like 3 or 4 or 5 digits. But, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people got bullied too. It's just, and like I said, people say, oh, that's forever ago, you shouldn't care about it anymore. But it's like, yeah, but still doesn't change the fact that I feel worthless still. And just constant negativity in my mind. Like I said, I want everyone out there to at least be nicer to yourselves than I am to me. Okay? And like I said, don't rely on just random supplements from a grocery store to improve your mental health. Go see an actual doctor. And talk to the doctor about how you feel, both physically and emotionally. Because they're professionals. And I'm just a crazy, weird person on the internet that's about to eat a gummy worm. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about anymore. I don't even know what the conversation was as I struggle to open this. Okay, do I just keep turning it? There we go. It's got this paper thing, of course, which is good because... What, is that a seal? It's a bird. What is that? Is it a dog? What am I looking at? It looks like, okay, we have an archery stand with an arrow. We have a bird. We have a water droplet. We have some bubbles. We have lips. We have, I think, a lotus flower. The sun, a diamond, a moon. The moon's by a cloud. What is that symbol there? It's in between the bird and the archery thing. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It doesn't even look like anything. Another thing is, like, I feel like, granted, my eyesight's nothing I really can complain about, but I've noticed that there's some screens sometimes that are like 20 feet away where the words are starting to turn blurry. So hopefully my eyesight's not having a problem. But what is that symbol? What is that? Like, I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Oh, well, let's open this paper thing. I can't. How do I... It's like, are you opening it with a back scratcher? Yes! It's one of those, like, bear claw back scratcher things. It worked, okay? That's all that matters. Can you remove all the paper? Maybe. Yes. Fine. I'll get it. Here, I got it. Let's give it a big smell. Oh, what the... What? It smells like cherry NyQuil. Okay, well, it should taste... it's supposed to taste like pineapple and oranges. Why does it smell like cherry NyQuil? Okay, I taste pineapple and orange. But I also taste strawberries and mushrooms. Portobello mushrooms? I mean, that's not an ingredient, but why do I taste that? Okay, so it's supposed to taste... Okay, so it smells like cherry NyQuil. It's supposed to just taste like pineapple and oranges. It tastes like a mix of pineapples, oranges, strawberries, and I'm trying to remember what the other thing I said was. Portobello mushrooms. But it's predominantly pineapple and oranges. Okay, so maybe that'll be beneficial. Or maybe I'll just be in a better mood the next 4 days because, like I said, Thanksgiving. So I get 2 days the rest of the week off. And, of course, I get the weekend. Normally I'd have to work half or more of the weekend, but, you know... Holiday! Yay! I'll probably go visit my parents tomorrow or something. I'll say this. I love my mother and I love my son. And, like I said, I love my mom. And I do appreciate that she spent 3 days and 3 nights over here when I had that surgery. And of course, Mom and Dad both took me to the surgery thing because it was a bit of a drive out there. It's like 25-minute drive or so to get to that hospital, I think. I can't remember. Maybe 35 minutes? I'm not sure. And of course, Mom can't drive cars that far. I mean, I actually can borrow. Really? She sometimes, and I know here soon she won't even drive really around town just because the ice and stuff. But Yeah, and I do appreciate that Dad did that drive and everything. He drove out there, dropped me and Mom off, and then came back say 5 hours later, because it took like an hour or two for the check-in and me to get set up for the surgery, and then I think I was sedated for like an hour and 20 minutes, I think I was sedated for an hour and a half for the surgery, and then I think it took another hour and a half to 2 hours for me to wake up after it. I can't remember. I think the exact amount of time. And then, of course, well, I went into details about that in a community post. I don't want to talk too much on that because, honestly, I feel like I'd be grossing everybody out. Hopefully I never have to have any kind of surgery like that ever again. Doctor did say it's an 80% chance I'll never have to do that again, but it's basically, the doctor said there's a 20% failure rate of the surgery, meaning that there's a 20% chance that I'm going to have to go back and get the more extreme version of the surgery. But even if I do, it's at least delayed. Because if I hadn't at least done that, then I would have had to wind up getting the more extreme version of the surgery sooner. But, like I said, 80% chance I'll never have to have a surgery for that condition again. 20% chance that in the next 10 years or so, I will have to. But I really hope not. Heck, maybe I'll just die of a heart attack before then. I mean, I'm sure all the caffeine I use keep me up at work, and the constant stress and chest pains, I'm sure. It's just, it was an unpleasant experience, and, well, the more extreme version of it, I'm not even sure if my body would handle that. The surgery I did have, it was something I never want to have to go through again. It was extremely unpleasant. It was painful. I was very weakened. I was miserable. And of course, going into it, I was scared and worried and nervous. My blood pressure shot through the roof when they tested it before the surgery. Normally my blood pressure's normal, and it was sky high just because I was just not. And like I said, then of course after a while Dad came, picked me and Mom back up, and like I said, Mom spent 3 days and 3 nights over here, which I needed because I wasn't well. Surgery tends to take a lot out of you. And of course I couldn't drive myself because, one, doctors are very insistent. Heck, they were very insistent that I had to have somebody there at the surgery. Of course not, standing in the operating room or something like that, stupid stuff like that. I mean, somebody in a waiting room. They didn't want me to be there to get the surgery. Apparently you're required to have somebody there. So not only are you required to have a ride to take you home, you are required to have somebody at the hospital. So, but yeah, apparently you're not allowed to drive down the freeway after being sedated. I'll tell you this, that first 20 or so hours after the surgery, I was in so much pain, even with the pain medication they gave me, that I wound up going to the emergency room. Granted, Mom had to drive me, and it was a struggle to even get into that car to go, because my body did not want to cooperate. But let's just say, there was a lot of blood still kind of coming out of me, and I was in a lot of pain. And I was basically going to the emergency room for 2 reasons. One, I was concerned that, hey, is this stuff a major concern? I'm worried if I ignore it, it'll become a bigger concern and might become, life-threatening. So let's address this early on before it becomes more serious. Because, even though I have severe depression, I actually appreciate my life. And even though I've thought very dark things a lot, I have never once ever attempted to kill myself. And I never will. Heck, while I am very strongly pro Second Amendment, I don't own guns. Because I value my life. I want to live a long life, but I kind of feel crappy sometimes. That being said, I have plenty of other weapons. Machetes, axes. Heck, I have multiple projectile-based weapons. Compound bows and various, barbed tips on that stuff. Basically, if you break into my house, I'm going to shoot you with a compound bow that's intended to kill deer. So, it doesn't matter if you have a bulletproof vest on. The compound bow is going to pierce straight through your bulletproof vest and go into your organs. On top of that, I have special barbed, really strong arrowheads. Basically, they're meant to be able to pierce through a deer hide extremely well, and to also maximize bleeding. Basically, I don't own a gun because you can't shoot yourself with a bow. So that's the main thing. I don't want to die. I want to live a long life. I value my life. I appreciate my life. I just feel shitty a lot of the time. But I'm trying to feel better. Heck, I ate a gummy worm. That's a start, right? Like I said, seriously though, if anyone feels the same, go talk to an actual doctor. This is not proper medical advice. Main thing I'm just trying to say is, it is important to talk about your feelings, but make sure you're talking to someone that you can trust, and someone who actually cares about you. Heck, there's a lot of people that would even pretend to care. And they would just wind up, using that shit against you later on. Like, oh, I know what things make you sad, so I know, what to attack, or some bullshit. So again, talk to people you trust. Talk to people that actually care. And at the very minimum, if you don't have anyone to talk to, then, you can just pace around your living room and talk to yourself. At the very minimum, it would make you feel better still, and you'll get a better understanding of yourself. You'll understand your own feelings better, and you might even be able to think of solutions. And like I said, I do suggest things like going to the gym and working out. But, wait, I gotta scratch my ear. My ear is itchy. But the main thing with the gym is, going to the gym should supplement your life. It shouldn't take over your life. And above all, I don't want anyone out there injuring themselves. Don't be lifting some super heavy weight that's way beyond your ability. I don't want people to tear muscles or break a bone or get a leg to bend the wrong way. Above all, I don't want anyone out there getting hurt in any way. I want you guys to be happy and to make the most of your lives. But again, value the little things. Like I think Winnie the Pooh said, sometimes the best thing is the most productive thing you do is nothing. Whether it's spending time with family or friends. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's just you and a buddy sit and play in Halo 3, eat some pizza rolls together. Yeah, you're not accomplishing anything. But don't underestimate the value of not only the fun that you're having playing the game, but also that that's a bonding activity. Even if you're not really talking a lot while playing the game. It's still a way for people to bond. Heck, some of like my mom. Now, of course, my mom has been there for me on a lot of things, and I still talk to her sometimes about certain things. So, of course, there are some things I don't really talk to people about. Heck, I think it was about 2 years after my divorce, I wound up deciding that, I'm bisexual. But, of course, I haven't actually dated anyone, so all of that, just because, I'm kind of antisocial, shy, and emotionally withdrawn, and paranoid of people. Also, I work a shit ton of overtime. Also, there's other things I try to do with my time, other than just playing video games and Let's Plays. And watching anime. But there's, actual real life things and responsibilities that I also have to do. And of course, I try to go to the gym, I try to play guitar, I try to learn how to draw. I want to learn how to languages, but I'm procrastinating so fucking hard on actually trying to learn German or Japanese. And again, most people would just choose a language But no, I'm like, I want to go from not knowing German or Japanese to learn both fluently simultaneously. That's not how that works. Then again, sometimes and again, this is pretentious of me to say, but yeah, there's many times I'll remind myself of IQ tests that I've done. Like, I remember being 12 years old, taking an IQ test, and my results for multiple IQ tests were usually between 132 and 145. But I'll just say 132 for the short end of that. I mean, heck, my mom was doing some college back then. I was 12, and I was actually helping my mom with her college math when I was 12. I went through high school, had a 4.0 honors diploma. I did calculus, physics, chemistry, and everyone's like, well, why didn't you wind up going to like some college and, doing some like STEM degree or some shit? And what I have to say to that is, sometimes life doesn't work that way. I didn't get any scholarships. I wound up getting some crappy college loans, and then shit went through with that. Even back then, I was working in other factories and jobs and stuff, and basically, I was too poor, and other shit happened. Also, I guess depression and mental issues, but mainly it's just, oh, I'm sad, blah 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 blah. You guys get the point. Basically, maybe it could have, but even then, I don't know if I'd be capable of doing that stuff now, let alone if I'd find the time, or even what career I would do with that. Heck, at one point when I was much younger, I considered the idea of being a doctor, like when I was real young, because I like the idea of being able to help people. But at the same time, if anytime I feel stressed out, my hands shake a lot, so definitely I wouldn't be able to do any sort of, surgery stuff, because one, you'd have to be able to precise. My hands tend to shake when I get nervous. And two, if I fuck up, because here's the thing, my job, I'm building T-800s. They're robots. If I fuck up, it's just a machine that I fucked up. If I fuck up at a surgery, I can kill someone. Like, here's the thing. I have only ever hurt anybody in self-defense. And even then, I still felt guilty about it. I still do. And of course, other times I've been criticized for not being violent enough. I mean, there's times where shit's happen and I wind up getting criticized for like, oh, you should have been more aggressive and more violent in those situations. I'm like, I may enjoy Baki the Grappler anime and Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and I enjoy martial arts, but it's fun. But I don't want to actually fight people. I'm a very non-confrontational person. Though I would imagine most people would just describe me as being a pussy. Honestly, not inaccurate. I'm not I'm not fucking Kenpachi. Okay? I'm not strong. I'm not strong. I'm not a capable fighter. And I'm not going out there seeking fights with people. But at the same time, it's just... the amount of times that I've been called, like, a fucking bitch about shit. It's like, for not, beating people to death. And I'm like, that's not my cup of tea, okay? Granted, it's like, do we all think about that stuff? Yes, of course. It's normal. Humans have an aggression side to them. Hell, take the Tool song Vicarious. We all watch the horror movies like Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw movies. We enjoy watching those horror movies for the endorphins, the adrenaline, all those feelings. Heck, watching those movies, and again, I kind of have a bit of an obsession with the macabre, but I'm like the most gentle person in the world, and I get criticized for it. Like, it's like, the people like consider like, that know me like, okay, kindness and gentleness is basically the defining characteristic of Lunar. So much so that people also would consider it my flaw. That, I'm the kind of person like, it's like, what would Lunar do? I want to play with bunnies. But heck, if I ever heck, I would have 2 bunnies, 2 cats, and 2 dogs if I thought they would all get along. Though, if I ever, got 2 bunnies, I would name them Lace and Iris. Yes, that is a reference to the Dragon Spirit, the New Legend video game for the NES, the original Nintendo Entertainment System, from 1987. It's a cool video game. And like I said, that's the thing with my mom. I played Dragon Spirit, Robo Warrior, Super Mario 1, Super Mario 3, Crash Bandicoot, particularly Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 3, and Spyro the Dragon, particularly the first one. And here's the thing. Did playing those video games accomplish anything? Not really. It's not like it did anything that would be considered productive. But one, I enjoyed the games themselves, as well as the art and the music and just the experience. But most of all, more than that, I enjoyed just, sitting there with my mom playing the games with her. And we basically, played evenly with the stuff. But, I just enjoyed, sitting with my mom and playing a video game with her. Same time, like, there's times I've gone and played video games with friends. And, yeah, you're not talking a lot of time, but it's still... I enjoyed the companionship of the other person just sitting there and playing the game with me. Hey, there's times, like, when you had the 4-player co-op with Halo games and stuff like that. I know a lot of times when I was younger, sometimes friends of mine would be doing things, sometimes even throwing a party or some shit. And even though I am a very introverted person, even if I just, like, there's sometimes I just bought a new game, I would actually pause the game, save, quit on the spot, and go see my friend and spend time with them. Because one, I wanted to spend time with my friends. Two, social anxiety or not, I still try to put myself out there and, hang out with new people and enjoy the experience. Even though sometimes, they're doing parties and stuff, and which is always kind of odd. I still remember getting the little Tostino's pizzas, hanging out with them. I remember back that stuff was like, 30 cents to get a pizza from, like, the grocery store. You get a pack of them, putting, like, the red pepper flakes and hot sauces and stuff on it. Eating that while watching some movies and playing, like, Halo 2 and cool shit like that. So, and like I said, I do value my friends. It's just they all moved places. Heck, one of my friends, he does this one job with basically getting people prescription medications. I might actually go get the job at his company too. But then again, I'm constantly concerned that, my job is going to fire me because I feel like I'm a fuck up at everything. I feel like I am... Like, let's be honest, I have terrible self-esteem. But then again, it's not just in my head. It's just me, acknowledging reality. To not acknowledge what I'm about to say would just be living in delusion. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm not strong. I'm not a capable fighter. I avoid conflict. And, I'm not rich. I don't own a house. My car is starting to fall apart. And honestly, I'm tired a lot of the time. Granted, like, everyone's like, you're working a shit ton of overtime. I'm like, yeah, but I shouldn't be this tired, especially with all the caffeine I take. Everyone's like, that's probably why your chest hurts. It's fine. I'm sure human bodies are supposed to feel that way. It's probably just part of getting old. I feel like I'm so fucking old. I'm 36 years old. I'm fucking Master Roshi. I'm an old ass man. Now I just need to start wearing a giant turtle shell on my back and flying on an orange cloud through the sky. And then, of course, got her friend. He wound up being an officer, and he went to West Point, became an officer in the military. Then after that, he basically teaches, like, engineering classes at a college. And another friend, he's actually in the police force. Another friend, I think he just does some contract work here and there, but it's just I never hardly get to see anybody. Heck, I haven't really been able to see my friends in forever. And family is, odd situation. And as far as dating, I've been completely alone since my divorce. Then again, I don't know on the future of that. I think for now it's probably just better I stay alone. But like I said, at least I'm not going to be getting killed with the fucking overtime here for the next few days. Because like I said, I got 4 days off work because of Thanksgiving. I get paid for one of them. I get paid for 1 day. Then the next 4 weeks after that will be so much overtime. I'm gonna have to really overdo it on the caffeine for that. It's gonna be so many fucking 12-hour shifts and extra days. Alright, there might be a couple stretches of a couple weeks where I don't get a single day off, and most of those weeks are just filled with 12-hour shift, 12-hour shift, 12-hour shift, 12-hour shift. Or maybe if I'm lucky, it'll just be 10-hour shift, 10-hour shift. I don't know half the time. And heck. But it's just, I feel like they keep It's just, I feel like as is, when they already raised the quotas, it's more than what we can do. They're asking the impossible already. And then they raise the quotas even more. And here's the thing. I don't mind working or working hard or pulling extra hours. But when it feels like it's all the time, and when it feels like I'm just so exhausted all the time and stressed, and when I feel like I'm doing my best and no matter how hard I try, I can't succeed, and that no matter how hard I try, no matter how fast I move, I can't meet the quota they want me to do. It's like I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best I can. I just can't do what you want me to do. And then, of course, there's other issues, sometimes someone else is having a problem. Well, now I need to help with that, and of course, that's time I was supposed to be using to do another task, but now I can't be doing that because I got to help somewhere else. Which again, I don't mind helping people on things, but then it's just the fact that work's well, why did you drop numbers on this 1 hour? It's well, because I had to go do this task and do this, and there was this issue. It's just, I feel like even if nothing goes wrong and there's no other issues, I still can't succeed no matter how hard I try. No matter how much Advil I take, no matter how much Tylenol I take, no matter how much caffeine I ingest, no matter how many Monsters or Red Bulls I shove down my throat, I can't succeed. I feel like I can't win. My best isn't good enough. And even then, I still keep trying, even though I feel like I can't succeed, I keep trying anyway. And also I feel like, okay, I'm also supposed to be inspecting things that I build to make sure they're of good quality. And I feel like half the time I'm about to pass out, or I'm getting confused, or I'm just out of it. And I feel like it's a matter of time before I send bad parts. I send bad machines. I send bad T800s. And we're going to hear back one day that some of the T800s we send to the Umbrella Corporation had an error releasing some sort of T virus or something. I'm like, fuck. And they're like, that'll be my fault. But like I said, I constantly feel like I'm just a fuck up at everything I do. But then again, the general way to describe myself is I feel like I'm worthless garbage and that I have no value as a person, that no one could ever care about me, and I'm just not of any value, and I'm not it's just that in every way I am inferior to everyone else. So, yeah. Who else feels like they're disposable, worthless garbage, and that they have no value, and that they're unwanted by existence? So, yeah. Who else feels sad sometimes? But, yeah, like I said, I got 4 days off. I'll then be back for 4 weeks, and then we'll have a Christmas shutdown. So I'll have 8 days or so, or 9 days. Basically, it's 5 days of 1 week, then the 2 days of that weekend, and then 1 day of the next week. So technically 6 days that we'd have off that would be normally work days, and I'll get paid for 3 of them, and not paid for 3 others. All in all, not bad. And like I said, it's just, I don't mind working hard. It's just, I'm exhausted, I'm sore a lot of times, I feel like I'm a failure, I feel like I can't succeed. And on top of that, I'm just like, I'm looking down at myself, and I'm like, I'm fatter. Or I'm thinking about other personal things, and I'm just like, it's like, okay, Lunar's new challenge. Work shit tons of overtime at a job of feeling stressed out, but let's continue to hide my mental illness and psychopathies. Let's just see how hard I have to struggle to maintain hiding, all of my psychopathies. Hell, and that's the thing I don't understand. Like, there's people, like, I've seen videos sometimes of people even like announcing it in public places, like, oh, I'm being triggered by this or that. What? How do you just get up and talk about that in front of people? Because here's the thing, I'm talking about it here because I'm a lonely son of a bitch with no one to talk to, and I'm just lonely and want to feel cared about. Plus, I'm a selfish person and I just want to talk about this stuff. I mean, it's my channel, so I'll talk about that. I feel sad about various things and self-esteem issues. But there's people like that would go to like public rallies and shit and get up on a fucking microphone and say, oh, can people please stop doing this or something? It's triggering some sort of sensory issue or something. And again, I don't want to like be a complete dick to those people, but at the same time, I'm going to be a complete fucking dick to those people. Because here's the thing. How are you not handling being a fucking... Like, I've had a little social anxiety. I think we all do to a degree. But I've been to giant fucking concerts, like 100,000 people. I've been in mosh pits. Probably won't be again, because my knees hurt all the fucking time. But I've been in mosh pits before. Granted, I haven't been to concerts forever. I think my hearing and eyesight's already having fucking issues. Fucking old-ass 36-year-old. But here's the thing. Why? Why are they talking about that shit in front of people like that? Because here's the thing. On here, this is a place where I can talk about whatever's in my mind. I can talk without a filter. Because at the end of the day, I just need to be able to talk about shit. But these people, what is happening? Why? Why are they doing that? I don't understand. At that point, it just feels like all they care about is some sort of victim mentality and some sort of attention bullshit. Like they're getting off on it. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate positive feedback I get on videos. But I think there's a difference between wanting a fucking virtual head pat as opposed to people that are getting up in a fucking crowd and making themselves the center of attention and saying, hey, can people please keep it down? I'm going to, I have some sort of sensory issue or some shit. Like, here's the thing. If I'm having a fucking issue with certain things that have happened to me in the past, to where memories are bothering me on certain things, to where I'm having a PTSD issue, to where like sometimes I'm talking to people and there's something happening that is triggering a fucking fight or flight reaction with me, to where, my body is pumping adrenaline, my arms are shaking uncontrollably, and there is an urge to fucking fight. Like, I am having literal, just the urge to either get the fuck out of the situation or start throwing punches. Obviously, I do my best to just hide all of that. I'm not going to tell people, oh no, I'm being upset by something. No. What? That's not really socially acceptable. And I want to appear normal. Hell, it's kind of like I cry a lot about things. I have emotions about things. There's a lot of times I'll listen to like fucking nightcore music and cry my eyes out fucking with the lights off and just spend like an hour or so just crying, listening to music. Because, that kind of emo bullshit. But it makes me feel better. It helps me to vent those emotions. Because, obviously I'm not going to do that in public. I'm not going to cry in front of other people. But at the same time, by at least doing it in private, it helps me to maintain stability and to be a functioning member of society. Same way, we all have aggressive thoughts, but it's not like just because I played Grand Theft Auto and drove down the sidewalk in a video game doesn't mean I would ever do that in real life. After all, remember, Socrates was a big supporter of Mortal Kombat, the video game. Everyone was like, whoa, that was like 3,000 years ago. How is he supporting a fucking video game franchise that didn't come out until like the 1990s that inspired the ESRB ratings? Because Socrates would talk about how it was good for people to like use swords and arrows and stuff on piles of hay and combat dummies and stuff, or rocks or stuff. Because one, it was good exercise and it was good training with archery, but also that by taking out those anger and by attacking a straw dummy, it was a good cathartic reaction for a person that one made them feel emotionally better. Granted, I don't think they had any knowledge about things like hormones and neurotransmitters of the brain, but they at least understood that people tended to be more calm after taking out their fucking frustrations on a pile of hay or some rocks or a combat dummy. And like I said, it was good exercise, and it was also a way to improve a valuable skill that people needed for survival. Heck, you still do, but you can't exactly be going down fucking road with a fucking broadsword fighting people. I'm pretty sure the police would complain about that. But the main point being, it's a good release of emotions. It's good catharsis. It's mentally healthy. Again, consult actual doctors and therapists and psychiatrists. And, like I said, if you guys feel any sort of emotional upsetness about things, talk to actual doctors. Don't rely solely on the advice of a crazy guy on the internet who has a lack of IRL people to talk to. But then again, even if I did, one, it would be kind of difficult to open up on about a lot of things. And two, let's be clear. There are some times, I think I was about 22 or something, some bad things happened. And I talked to my friends because for a long time I bottled everything up. And I didn't talk to anyone about my feelings. And then, family members died. And I was sad. And then other stuff happened, and that also made me sad. So I talked to my friends. And when I popped the lid on that bottle, I just sort of talked and talked and talked and talked. And I feel like I annoyed them. They probably hate me for it. But it was just... And even then, there were so many things I never talked to them about. Because I was... Ow! Ow! Why? Ow! What the fuck? Why do you hate me, Foot? Why is it getting worse? Fucking god... Fuck! Ow! Fuck you... Why? It doesn't even make sense! There's no logical fucking... Ow! Fuck! Yeah, staring at it harder is not gonna make it fucking stop hurting. Fuck! Why? What fucking even causes this? Do I need more magnesium or some shit? Yes, sometimes I seem to be chronically low in magnesium for some reason, because apparently my body just sucks at existing. The whole reason I had to have a surgery is, it's like, oh yeah, your genetics. It's just a genetics issue. Like, why? Why does my body hate me more than I hate myself? Okay, it's calming down. Fine. Yes. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, basically my right leg just Charlie horsed whole fucking thing, thigh, calf, particularly my ankle. Like my big toe and definitely those two toes there, but basically my toes just so like my big toe was like pushing out to the left and super extremely straight. Best way to put it is this. My ankle, my foot, and my toes just sort of locked into a weird position. And by that I mean they moved a little bit, and then as they were tightening, they just kept sort of moving further out of the places where, you know, it's supposed to fucking be. But basically it felt like my toes and my ankle were kind of leaving the joint where they're supposed to be. Obviously they probably didn't actually do that, because that would probably be a more serious medical issue and would probably be an actual full-on injury. So, like, what's happening? Oh, Luna's being overly dramatic about a fucking Charlie horse. But it's just like, ow, my calf, my thigh, but most of all, my ankle and my toes. Just, like I said, it felt like they were moving out of joint. It hurt. Now, they probably weren't. It was just probably muscles being overly tightened and moving into a position out of, like, some sort of cramp. Everyone's like, are you going to take a magnesium supplement? Probably. It's like, how many different supplements you try to take? Enough that I'm basically a fucking supplement store. Because I'm trying everything I can short of actually taking fucking antidepressants. Plus, I want to actually build muscles and be stronger. Like I said, go to the gym. Just, I don't want anyone to get hurt. And of course, whether you go to a gym or take supplements, talk to personal trainers of gyms. Talk to your doctor. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a psychiatrist. Hopefully you have family, friends, a lover, someone who cares about you, and you can talk to them and not be like Lunar and just talk to the people on the internet who are probably all annoyed at me. And honestly, why would you even listen to me this long into this video? I'm just a really weird, annoying person talking about shit that, why would anyone care about what I think or feel? I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about over the cramp thing. Drink some of this lemon lime soda. It's probably starting to go stale from the fact that we've probably been sitting here for at least 10 minutes. I'm gonna, like, look at a clock and be like, oh shit, the 4-day weekend's over. I have to go back to work. I thought it was a funny joke. Anyway, I should probably play this game. I don't even remember what the fuck we were talking about. But, heck, I suggest some webcomics. There's Nuclear Power for K. There's Looking for Group. Least I Could Do. And Bob and George. All really cool webcomics. I suggest the animes Outlaw Star, Tenchi Muyo, particularly the original Tenchi Muyo, Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040, the Slayers series with Lena Inverse, Overlord, reincarnated as a slime. Feeling there was another anime I wanted to suggest. I can't remember anymore. I don't know. I think it was an anime I hadn't even suggested before. That I don't think I ever mentioned before, but I can't remember. Oh well. I doubt I'll remember now. Okay, let's play this game. But yeah, this is a sequel to the, you guys can read The Test Secrets of the Soul. This is, you guys can see the number 2 there. So let's hop into this before I delay this anymore. Before proceeding with The Test Secrets of the Soul 2, it is strongly advised that you first play through The Test Secrets of the Soul 1, which I did like a week ago or something, as this is a direct sequel to the first experience. Let's move this. Wonder if OBS is even recording. Oh well, then in case you guys never... I don't know. After playing... Oh right, have you already played? Yes. Very well. You may proceed, Wanderer. Okay. My brother, poor brother, you're not the only one. Oh sister, sweet sister, the pain has just begun. That just makes me think of Ozzy Osbourne. I remember seeing a really cool AMV video with Diary of a Madman, set to Cowboy Bebop. Did I suggest Outlaw Star? Seriously, what was that anime I was going to say? I don't know. I can suggest there's a YouTube channel called Puffin Forest. It's called Puffin Forest. Puffin, and then the word forest. He's a guy who does like these cool, amazing animated, like comic style videos about Dungeons and Dragons. One, I think the comic style looks so cool. It's a bit simplistic in a few elements, but I think it does wonders for his style, and I don't think he should change it all. Then again, who knows? Maybe many times artists tend to explore things like Korn did with the Path of Totality album, and that was good too, so who knows? I'm just saying this. His style of comedy, I think he's hilarious, and his stories are awesome. There's like an Obelisk Tower one, or the Aboleth video, or Absurd, or fine, I'll say it. Always trust the cocaine! Yes, it's Captain Morgan. It's a pirate dude. You have a magical cocaine sword. Or, I think the favorite one is the pee in my bucket video. Everyone's like, what kind of fucking shit are you into? I swear it's wholesome! It's like he is not lewd or degenerate or fucked up. He is actually hilarious, and his videos are extremely wholesome. I am probably the last person to suggest a wholesome video because, well, I am not wholesome. But Puffin Forest is hilarious. I like his videos a lot, and he's very wholesome. But yeah, Puffin Forest, hilarious stuff. Contain it no longer. I cast away the sun. In darkness I wander. Thy Father's will be done. Drink some more soda. Everyone's like, you're fat and you're thinking about eating donuts later. Like, yes! You find yourself once again on the inside of a seemingly empty chapel, tucked away in the throes of a midnight storm. The rain pelts the windows like falling stones, and the wind rages on as the chapel doors shake and tremble. As you peer around the room, you catch a set of glowing red eyes, gazing at you under a shroud of darkness. A ghastly apparition begins to form in front of you, accompanied with a grim voice, beckoning you into the light. The desolate chapel. So we meet again, Wanderer. I didn't expect to see you back so soon. Your clothes are soaked and tattered. Come, dry yourself from the downpour, for we have all the time in the world to converse. It looks like the storm is going to last a while, Wanderer. Make yourself at home. Do you have Pepsi? I'm sure we have a few things to catch up on. I'd love to play our favorite game, wouldn't you? You know, the one where I peer deep into your soul. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, Wanderer. I know I certainly will. We can even make it interesting. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to answer them for me. And as always, I'm going to need your complete and utter honesty. There's so much I didn't get to ask you the last time we were in each other's presence, Wanderer. I look forward to getting to know you on an even deeper level. Now, some of these questions are going to be quite difficult to answer. Just take your time and think. It's better to give a genuine answer than it is to rush, for there is no going back. And just like last time, I will tell you what I see within your soul. But this time, you might not like what you hear. Let's get started, shall we? Make yourself comfortable as I drill deep into your psyche. We'll begin now. Would you say you're currently in a positive mood? I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be, but honesty is the best policy. Then again, I've also been told that being overly honest is an autistic trait. Okay, sometimes I tend to be, I guess, what's described as inappropriately honest. But what can I say? I'm weird, okay? Are you feeling nervous at all? That's just life, I guess. Are you feeling somewhat anxious? I would say every time I wake up, but honestly, I'm also anxious when I'm asleep, so... Would you say that you're feeling curious at the moment? Always! Heck, human beings can be described by 3 core attributes. Human beings, our most 3 strongest attributes is that we're curious, we can adapt to things, and that we have a strong urge to head pat things and to receive head pats. Are you currently worried about anything at all? Yes. All the time. Would you consider yourself to be a fairly open individual? Yes. Can you sometimes keep your walls very high and somewhat reserved? Yes. I actually, like I said, for a long time I kept everything bottled up, and then emotionally I just couldn't handle that anymore. But, you know, I generally don't talk to just about anybody about things. I would talk to, like, close friends, but I kind of feel like I annoyed the shit out of them. But in general, when it comes to real life, I tend to be very reserved, very quiet. I tend to be very stoic. I tend to not express my thoughts or feelings. So yeah, in general, I tend to be very deep in my shell when it comes to the real world. But I can actually open up a bit in this place because I need to talk about my feelings, even though I know I am annoying. But in general, I'm very reserved. Do you think that anyone truly knows you, Wanderer? No, because no one truly knows anyone, but... honestly, because it's just... So, okay, we'll just make it simple. I'm weird. But in the simplest sense of what you're saying, no. Would you say you have a pretty good idea of the types of questions I'm going to ask you? I mean, they're basically just on my thoughts and feelings on things, so yeah. Are you prepared to be completely utterly honest with your answers moving forward, even if they're difficult to answer? I'll do my best. Wonderful. I'll remember that. Have you ever felt like a demon lived inside of you? Honest defense on how you define demon. But, yeah. Interesting. I mean, we all feel that way. Have you ever looked for a way out of this life? I get what you're trying to say. I'll just go with I've thought about it a lot, but I will never actually do so. But I understand the feeling and sentiment. It's probably normal for some people to think about it sometimes. Again, if you think about it excessively, talk to the doctors. But, yeah. Do you know what it feels like to be truly and completely content? I don't know, it's nice to enjoy an ice cold Pepsi, watch some anime, and eat some chocolate cake. Can 2 separate people's traumas ever be accurately compared? No. I mean, and there's many people that probably have multiple traumas, but I think the whole point is for people to try to be understanding of each other. I mean, you don't even have to have similar experiences to at least be like, hey, I understand that that person feels sad about that, and I at least understand that I would also feel sad if sad things occurred. So I'll go with no. I mean, nothing's ever the same. Everyone's got unique experiences. But I do think it's an important thing for people to try to understand each other. I mean, that's just part of being human, just empathy. You know, just because somebody goes through a situation that I would never ever experience doesn't mean I don't understand that they would feel sad and fear when it comes to that. And it doesn't mean that I can't at least express to them that, that situation sucked. And that would be horrible. And listen to them. Care about, their well-being. Let them know that, hey, your thoughts and feelings matter. And even though I don't understand the situation, I understand that it was painful for you, and I'm just expressing that, at least in the general sense, somebody cares, and that try to give some positive encouragement. I mean, nothing's perfect, but part of trying is being human, or at least a good person, or I don't think it even counts as being a good person. I don't know. It's simply an option people have, I guess. But you guys get what I mean. Do you believe that everyone should have the right to pursue happiness? Yes. As long as you're not hurting anyone else. If faith is having belief in something in the absence of evidence, then would you say that you exhibit faith in anything, Wanderer? Yes. Would you consider yourself to be a rational individual, generally speaking? Yes. Like here's the thing, I believe strongly in God, but I don't think laws of society should be based on it. I think laws should be based off of logic and kindness. Also, how much you piss me off. Is it possible to think about nothing? Well, yeah. No, I'd still value life even if I was immortal. Now, granted, I would also want things like regeneration and eternal youth, and other things too, to make life better. But in general, if I would live forever, as long as I had good circumstances to live in, I'd be happy. But, I wouldn't need the possibility of death to give value to life. Heck, I tend to be depressed a lot, but here's the thing. I would never hurt myself, because I actually value my life. It's either a brain chemistry thing, or just a reaction to either bad current situations, or leftover emotional issues from, well, it turns out you can't be beaten over and over and over and called horrible things. Heck, you can't, have 5 people beat the shit out of you in a back alley for over an hour, slamming you into a brick wall, punching you hundreds and hundreds of times, kicking you, throwing bricks at you, stomping on you, and calling you just about lots of very bad words, without it still being a negative thing you think about that makes you feel kind of... Well, you guys get the point. I'm just saying, even if I was immortal, I would still value my life. And even though I'm depressed, I still value my life. I would like to live a long life. Granted, probably, happy too, but I enjoy being alive. I also find hell unjustifiable. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for people to suffer. Not like that. If a soul really is that much of a danger to others, just have it not exist. So I've actually spent time thinking about all the different ways somebody would be hurt in such situations. I've even watched plenty of video games and media that explore the options. And I do enjoy stories, whether it's like Nightmare on Elm Street sort of stuff, but in real life, I don't want anyone to actually suffer. Heck, I just want a peaceful world where everyone's kind, there's no war, no one would ever hurt anyone, but we can all just watch horror movies and play Halo 3 together. But I don't think that's works out. There's so many people out there that want to hurt others. And I want the human race to be better than it is. I think there was Steven Pinker made a book called The Angels of Our Better Nature. It's a nice idea. And I tend to be a person who likes idealistic views of things, but I understand it's not realistic. But it is a desire for people to be nicer to each other. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I guess the main point just being is just I've considered all the horrible different ways that people would suffer. And it's... what's the point? You could say justice, but I mean, at that point, even if it's like Hitler, I'm pretty sure 20 years would be enough. At that point, just let the soul cease to exist. I mean, if anyone had an issue with that, beyond that, I mean, okay, any of the people that directly, like, there's 6 million Jews. I'm pretty sure let them have a decision on what happens to that. I think they're the most, like, there's plenty of people that suffered from all that stuff. Let them make the choice. But even then, there should be a limit to how much somebody should be punished. Because even the stuff in hell, you know, I think anyone should suffer that much. But of course, you know, obviously there's people that would be really pissed and angry at those individuals. But I mean, like, that's between you guys then. But in general, just for the state, you know, the viewpoint of just... I just don't like the idea of people suffering. And even then, what's the point? At that point, it just becomes a threat. Like, the whole time you're in heaven at that point, it's like, hey, don't step out of line or we'll kick you out into that one place. It's like, hey, do what you're told or you'll be made to suffer. Heck, there's all these different definitions of what counts as a sin. I mean, heck, there's some churches that have gone at certain extremes on whether or not, oh, it's a sin not to hate this one race or group of people or some bullshit. It's just, oh, you have to be hateful or some crap, or don't eat bacon. And just, it goes on and on. Or, heck, I've heard a lot of preachers tell people they're going to go to hell because they don't give enough money and offerings and tithings and stuff. It's like, yeah, you need to give more money to the church. And again, it's just, it just seems, one, like people would be sent to a horrible fate over arbitrary things. Heck. But I don't want to get too much in that stuff. It's just... But I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. But it's just I don't want to go off on a tangent talking about it. But I could. I could probably spend the next 4 hours straight talking about it. Main point being is just... a lot of it just seems like it's disproportionate response. It'd be like using a fucking Apache helicopter to enforce a speed limit on cars. You know, it's excessive. And let alone even for the stuff that's really bad. I mean, at that point, it's just a threat. Like, hey, do what you're told. Heck, I mean, sin, people could sometimes define sin as vices. Sometimes they can define it as you're doing something evil, or you're doing something that's hurting people. But I mean, there are some points where people say sin is just disobedience. But sometimes that gets boiled down to you have to obey authority. To where, like, okay, do what you're told. And then with the ultimatum of, you know, hell or something on top of it. Or, you know, some sort of punishment. Or a beating or something. Then it just becomes an issue of, do what you're told or I'll hurt you. Do what you're told or I'll do something horrible to you. I'll make you suffer. I'll make you have despair. I'll make you... like, I'll mutilate your body or hurt you in some horrible way. I mean, how is that just? That it's not even an issue of punishing an evil, like, person that's, you know, done something cruel to someone else. It's just used as a blanket threat to, like, hey, just do what you're told. Regardless of what you're being told. Just do what you're told or I'll hurt you. It's like everyone's like, Luder's venting personal frustrations with other people. It's like, yes. Just saying. There's a lot of things that just... people are assholes. And that's the thing, I'm allowed to take offense to being treated poorly or spit on or hit or punched or beaten or strangled. Or other things. Heck, I could go on a whole list there of stuff like that. But again, personal shit. Main point being, I'm allowed to still be pissed off. And everyone's like, oh, let it go. Like, it still bothers me. Especially given other things that are said in relation to that cause additional issues. And everyone's like, it's like looters being weird. I'm like, yes, I understand. Things bother me. I shouldn't care. Main point being is that all the different horrible things that could help happen to somebody. I mean, heck, take the whole medieval torture stuff, or even all the time through history. I mean, throughout history, in any society, any era, any time, there's all these different lists of ways of horrible, horrendous things people have done to one another. That's just so cruel. And it's just, to even do that to somebody at all, even once, it's disgusting. But to inflict all of those things over and over and over, I mean, even against somebody who's evil, it's atrocious. Let alone if you're just doing it on a random person, just because, oh, you littered one time. Or, oh, you failed to believe in this one god. Or, oh, you didn't go to war and fight. It's like, oh, God wanted you to genocide this one group of people, and you didn't commit horrible acts of violence against the right group of people. So, it's like, what the fuck? Or heck, they're like, oh, it's like, you're bisexual. Like, oh, it's so bad that you just want someone to love and care about you, and you just want to have a happy, healthy relationship. It's not like an issue of just going out and, being hedonistic, even though that's really, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's more so just an issue like, it's not hurting anyone, just wanting to be cared about and wanting to actually have people you can trust. It's still a relationship, healthy, but it's this. And of course, there's things that go into that, but it's like, heck, I mean, they say, oh, the Bible says man should not lay with another man, but it also says don't eat bacon. It says also don't wear clothing of different colors. Heck, there's nothing that says anything bad about slavery, but there's a commandment saying you won't be, jealous of your neighbor's slave. I mean, there's whole things outlining how to own slaves, or how to do horrible, unspeakable things to other people that don't deserve to have horrible things done to them. There's even things for genocide and racism and shit like that. It's like, for like certain situations, I'm like, hey, there's things also, don't eat shellfish, don't do this. It's like, it's just, I mean, there's so many things that would apply. Like, it's like, why are we focusing on the one individual point? And everyone's like, well, then why are you cherry picking like what you want out of it? It's not an issue of cherry picking what suits me. It's a cherry picking, basically, what I think applies to actual morality. You can say, well, what was the point of those laws back then? It's a way for ancient Israel to function as a society. One, you couldn't have people doing that stuff back then because you didn't have antibiotics, you didn't have modern medicine or lube or condoms or knowledge of how bacteria or viruses work. Heck, it was like, 150 some odd years ago, the first person who suggested the existence of cellular life in terms of inside the human body, they locked him in a fucking insane asylum. Heck, one of his first suggestions was that doctors should use soap and water before surgery. And they're like, that's stupid. The doctor needs to have dirty hands and stuff. And yes, I'm paraphrasing. But the main point is the person was suggesting that, hey, maybe doctors need to really scrub their hands really well before surgery. And he was talking about micro. Heck, here's a funny thing. Edgar Allan Poe was actually one of the first people to ever suggest the idea of the Big Bang Theory. Granted, the way he phrased it and the way his scientific knowledge was a little bit off, but honestly, here's the thing. Edgar Allan Poe thought he was going to be remembered for his scientific theories. He thought people really wouldn't care about his stories, but people remember him mostly for his stories. But he was actually, into stuff when it comes to science, even more so than Newton and stuff. He was basically in the same interest fields as Albert Einstein, just not as widely known. And it's the same thing when it comes to the way the different, not just Einstein, but galaxies and the way the universe is. I mean, we know there's at least 200 trillion plus galaxies. The scale of something that big is just, it's beyond my ability to grasp. How, and even then you can see these images of the space filaments, which is just, they're strings of entire galaxies that make, really aesthetically pleasing, pictures, which again I know have to be color contrasted and changed based on the way technology works. But it's a really cool picture, okay? I think it looks cool. Then again, it's cool to see like little renditions of things like vampire stars, a star that's sort of eating another star, or the idea of, say, one of the black dwarf stars being next to like a red giant or something. But then again, heck, there's even video games based on the idea like Solar Smash and Universe Sandbox. Heck, there's a channel out there called Gray Still Plays. He does all sorts of crazy shit with those two things, plus Grand Theft Auto, like these custom racetrack things. He does Happy Wheels, which is like you do stuff people riding bicycles through just a bunch of spikes and exploding everything. And there's also like Species and various games where he like does like skateboards and stuff, but he changes numbers to where he's like breaking physics. He's like, oh, a few million, that's rookie numbers. And like, if you haven't heard of Gray Still Plays, check him out. He's hilarious. He's got like thousands of videos. Watch all of them. I think it's hilarious. The guy is legitimately entertaining. Did you say entertaining? I'm sorry, I'm sleepy. It's like all the caffeine from work shouldn't have wore off yet. No, but we're chilling. This is relax. The point is, Gray Still Plays is hilarious. Watch his channel. He's funny. I'm just cringe. What the fuck were we talking about? Right. Gay people things. Right. I'm bisexual. But then, hey, that's not the only thing that defines me as a purpose. Did you say porpoise? Apparently, I can't talk anymore. As a person. Heck, for some reason, it seems like there's some sort of weird stereotype out there that, gay people hate heterosexual people. Heck, for the most part, most of my life, I was a straight person. Heck, it wasn't until like 2 years after my divorce that I wound up deciding that, I am bisexual. I just am also antisocial and just haven't got around to actually dating anyone for another couple years to be actually a fucking decade of just me being, hey, it's Lunar, the forever alone, lonely bastard who's just sad and cuddles a pillow at night and looks at hentai. That's just depressing. Everyone's like, why do we relate to you then? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is helpful to anyone. I don't know why it would be. It's like, hey, this one person said this depressing thing, but you, the listener, also feel like your life is in the same situation. It's like, I don't know what's being accomplished. It's like, okay, you guys know you're not alone, and I at least know that there's other people like me. I don't know if that makes me feel better or not. I would rather everyone just be happy. Everyone's like, yes, we relate to you, like we had these bad things happen to us too. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool that you're sharing, and it's cool that there's people that can understand me, but at the same time, I'd rather just everyone be happy. I don't want anyone else to feel, sad. I want everyone to be happy and have romantic partnerships, and I want everyone out there to have happiness and love. I don't want everyone else out there to be sad and lonely too. But yeah, it's just, like I said, the biggest thing when it came to the past is, one, you didn't have antibiotics and stuff, plus, they're constantly at war. You need to be able to reproduce like bunnies, so you have people to fight as cannon fodder in wars. Also, it makes for a more stable society in the regard that, it keeps... Heck, like I said, I became bisexual about 2 years after my divorce. Granted, I've been still a lonely person ever since. I'll date someone eventually. But main point being is, I have nothing but love for straight people. That being said, I do have concerns about ever being open as far as in regard to my dad about being bisexual, just because I don't think he would respond well at all. I'd be concerned he'd be extremely angry. Heck, I know it's paranoia on my part, but part of me is actually worried he'd be violent. But again, paranoia on my part. I'm just kind of very withdrawn, antisocial, paranoid individual who worries a lot about things. But I just don't think he would be understanding or accepting or willing to listen to me. But again, it's not like I'm going out dating people or going to like some sort of club or some shit. It's like, what did Lunar do for fun today? I went for a walk on a bike trail at some point. That'll probably later today, as long as it doesn't rain. I'll go for a walk. But yeah, I'm going to go for a very enthusiastic walk for people that like Team 4-Star references. Hellsing Abridged. Heck, at one point I tried to do the whole Alucard speech thing. Like, I don't know, just type in Team TFS Alucard on my channel in the little search bar. It's like a little 17-second clip of me trying to do an Alucard impression. It's awful. It's absolutely horrible. But, I give it a try. What the fuck are we talking about? I don't know. I like dick. I like pussy and cock, okay? And I like boobs. Everyone's like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know. This is why most people write a script. But no, like I'm not here to like have some sort of concise thing. Like I said, this would matter for people that want to be monetized, who want to like. But here's the thing: I don't want to ever be monetized ever. I don't want to ever make a cent. I'm never planning to like have Patreon or some sort of super chats or sponsors or some shit. You're never gonna hear like, "Welcome back to Lunar D8 Studios. Our sponsor today is Rage Shadow Legends and some sort of manscaping stuff for my balls. Look how smooth my balls are. Just waving my erect cock back and forth." Everyone's like, I don't think any sponsor would like that. I'm like, that's the point! What fucking sponsor would want me saying shit about them? Then again, even if somehow, like, some company was, like, reaching out to me and said, "Hey, Lunar, we want to pay you," I'm like, no thank you. Then again, why the fuck would anyone want to do that? Why would you want to be associated with me in any way? I am weird. But even then, even if like, ooh, dude, Teach Handley, I got shaving cream lotion stuff. It's like, we'll pay you to talk about us. I'm like, no thank you. I don't want a sponsor. It's like, don't you need money? It's like, yeah, true, but I'd rather just work a different job. Like, heck, I'm constantly worried I'm gonna get fired from the job I do. You said do. That's not even a... And my phone's ringing. It's way over there. Hold on. Ow. My back. My back. It's a telemarketer. Ow, my back hurts so fucking bad. Welcome to Lunar D8, the person who's having old man noises. It's my back, my knees, something in my... That's part of my back, too. It's like I'm just going to be describing different parts of my back. And parts of my arms and joints. Where did the controller go? Okay, did that break anything? No, okay. What the fuck is happening? I don't know what the fuck we're talking. I got distracted. I don't know. What the fuck are we talking about? It's like, we're talking about like gay stuff. Like, yeah, I'm bisexual. Hey, you guys ever see the channels like Tigaholic or Line Chew. They make pretty funny stuff. Heck, there's an ACD VR channel. Everyone's like, you're a degenerate, aren't you, Lunar? I'm like, yes. Yes, I am. I am a degenerate. And I don't know what the conversation's about. But now we're suddenly talking about, like, oh, I like women, guys, shonen, femboys, futanari. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But that's weird things, like, people like say, like, it just seems like there's some sort of conflict, like, oh, like, straight people, gay people have to hate each other or some shit. No. Everyone should just be nice to each other. You know, that being said, I do agree that, you know, anything to do with sexuality, whether straight or gay, should be kept out of schools and churches and away from children. But adults should be able to date whoever they want. You know, you go somewhere and you meet a cute futanari, you should be able to date her if you want. That being said, I understand many other people would never ever be interested in that at all. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with people liking who they like. It doesn't matter if you're a guy who likes a girl or a guy or whatever. You know, as long as it's a consensual, happy relationship and both people love each other, that's good. I just want everyone to be happy and to be nice to each other. Heck, like I said, I have nothing but love for straight people. Heck, I was straight people for most of my life. And heck, I would say the nuclear family is the core of a healthy society. That being said, there's nothing wrong with people loving who they love. I don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, ancient stuff. You know, ancient Israel and stuff. Main thing is, also, it makes it easier for a government to control people. In all societies, not just Israel, but every country in the history of the human race. You know, if you're married, especially if you have a family, that makes it easier for the government to, like, influence you. Plus, here's the thing. If there's no porn, and you can't even date, let alone have sex, without the government's approval, and you can only marry if you have their approval to get married, then at that point the government be like, okay, do what we tell you, or you can't get sex. Just because that's one of the easiest ways to influence and control people. So it's just an issue of how can a government control its citizens? And that's true of any government type. You know, it doesn't matter like what type of structure it is, whether it's a monarchy or a republic. I mean, governments do tend to want to have control. I mean, that's the whole point of the Constitution, is to limit that control. So that, you know, no matter who is in whatever political office. That being said, a lot of people in political office are very old. Granted, I am old. I'm 36. I'm not in my fucking 80s. Okay? Granted, yes, I've been around. I remember the times before the internet existed. I remember seeing payphones at places. But I also don't remember a time before cars. It's not like I remember, like, oh yeah, I remember the time where we had to churn butter, like, at a fucking Amish village. And everyone's like, why are you talking shit about the Amish people? One, I don't have anything against Amish people. I think they're cool. Two, how are they ever going to see this? It's electronics. Why would they be watching the fucking YouTubes? Why would they be on the internet? It's like, yes, Jebediah watched Lunar's video right after playing Grand Theft Auto 6 and streaming his tentacle hentai. Everyone's like, you just spilled the beans on liking tentacle hentai. That was never a secret! I feel like I've been very open on that. I think I've made that joke like 100 times about tentacle hentai. Like, that's not a secret. I like tentacle hentai. That's a thing. Everyone's like, what are we talking about? Like, I don't know! I can't keep track of the conversation. I'm not sure what we're talking about anymore. All I know is we're talking about dicks or something. Because, you know, tentacles. Main point being is this. Everyone can have their viewpoints and conversations. Heck, I'm a very strong supporter of the free speech, of the First Amendment, that people should be able to voice their opinions and have open conversations. I think that's one of the greatest things about America, is that people can have differing opinions and not agree with each other, but they can have calm, civil, respectful conversations with each other, where the goal isn't to change the other person's viewpoint or force them to view things the way you view them. It's just you're expressing your views, they express theirs, and everyone just has a normal, healthy, friendly conversation where they're just trying to understand one another. That's it. I just want everyone to be friends with each other. Everyone's like, Lunar, you're a fucked up person. Like, yes, I know that. I'm the kind of person that, I'm going to watch horror movies and read Edgar Allan Poe and watch video game things. Heck, I'm the person who way back when suggested to DDR Maniac 007 to play Demonophobia. And that is a fucked up game. It is a Korean game. It is a horror game. Probably the most cursed horror game to ever exist. And I would not recommend it for anyone under the age of 23 years old. It's extraordinarily violent and gory and fucked up. Granted, I've seen much worse things as well. One, because I'm fucked up. Two, again, it's just, if anything, a case study of, here's all these horrible things that could potentially happen in a torture scenario. And it's there's no justification for that. That's horrible. No one should ever go through that. Now, a drawing is fine because it's just a drawing. It's just a video game. But there's no reason why actual people, whether it's in this world or the next, should ever be put through such things. But then again, I just want everyone to be nice to each other. I want a world where no one would want to hurt anyone. And I know that's unrealistic. I just want everyone to be friends and play video games together. And we can just drink Pepsi and go for walks and be like, hey, let's watch this tree. Yay, clouds. And we're all touching grass. And says the person who played a VR chat game, but then his first instinct was just to sit in the imaginary building, looking out the imaginary window, watching the imaginary rainstorm. Because even in a video game that's designed for people to talk to each other, that's designed for people that are antisocial, your first instinct is just to sit there and stare out the imaginary window and watch the imaginary city with the imaginary rain and not talk to people. You're just I just want to enjoy watching the rain. It's not even real! Yes, we have established that I should probably try to be more sociable. I have tried sometimes IRL. It tends to go poorly. I will still probably continue to try at some point, but most part, What are we talking about? I don't know. Laws and stuff of ancient Israel. I think the main point to say is this. It functions better for societies to impose those rules. It's not about ethics, though. It's about efficiency. That's the whole point about that system of laws. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about ethics. Now, of course, a lot of other people would disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I understand that. I understand that people feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with you feeling that way. As long as everyone gets along well and they don't impose anything on each other, that's fine. Everyone... that's the whole point of thinking. I'm not going to try to... at most point I might try to have conversations with people, but as long as we're both respectful to each other, that's fine. But I understand people aren't going to agree with everything I say. And that's understandable. You're not supposed to. First off, I'm crazy and I'm weird. I'm not normal. I understand that. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you have to disagree with me or agree. Everyone out there has their own viewpoints as well. But the main point is a lot of systems of laws, they're not about ethics. They're about efficiency. It's more of a Machiavellian sort of type thing. It's an issue of what means will give you the ends that you want. And a lot of times when it comes to a society, it's an issue of what laws will give us a society that benefits the people in power the most. Now, granted, there's a lot of times where we try to have laws that try to benefit everyone. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of democracy and a republic. Because keep in mind, we are a republic, not a democracy. But again, the whole point, the idea behind both ideas is trying to give the general public, a say, in what's in the common good. What makes a better society. Whether it's laws on how much we tax, what should we use the money for the taxes on, should we go to war with certain people, what kind of trade routes should we have, should we have a navy, should we go to outer space, how much money should we allocate to build a space shuttle, should we plant a new forest of trees, should we build a sewage system, how do we make a better traffic pattern with our traffic lights. Also, what the fuck is with roundabouts? There's some parts in some cities where there are 3 roundabouts in a row. Like, here's the thing, I understand, like, sometimes, like, for other people it's seen as convenient, but it's a fucking nerve-wracking mess. It's like, I'd rather just have 2 roads that intersect with streetlights that definitively tell you stop or go. That way, everyone knows when you're supposed to drive and when you're not. As opposed to just a giant fucking circle with 8 different roads intersecting where everyone just goes whenever they fucking feel like it, and then it's one roundabout that leads into another roundabout that goes another. I am getting dizzy, I am confused, and there's cars everywhere, and I am just constantly fucking like, that's a semi-truck, oh fuck, that's another truck, there's a hole in the wheel to the left, like, oh, there's my turn, that's, I'm just saying, roundabouts, that's how I feel. On the inside, obviously I'm not screaming like that out loud when I'm actually driving. 90% of the time. At least if there's other people in the car. I'm not saying anything. And I'm pretending to be extraordinarily calm. It's kind of the thing with, if something's triggering you or not. I want to come off as normal. I'm not going to express those feelings. I'm just going to smile and be normal. Same with if I'm driving a car and I'm going through roundabouts. I'm just on the outside. I'm just really having casual conversation. Like, yeah, about this. Like, I mentioned stuff about stuff, normal conversation while driving, looking at all the mirrors. But on the inside, like on the outside, I'm just having a normal, casual conversation. And, just, calm. Yeah, whatever. Just, okay, take this turn here. Good. Oh, there's a car, move around. Yeah. But on the inside, I'm like, that car's moving! They didn't have a turn signal! Left! Why is there another one? That's what it is on the inside. But I don't say that out loud. Especially if there's other people in the car. Because I feel like that would make them uncomfortable, and that also I would feel embarrassed. But that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. I don't like roundabouts. Then again, I'm also the kind of person that if I'm driving down a freeway and I'm coming up to a big city with like 1 million people and they've got skyscrapers and shit, I feel nervous. I see that shit and I'm like, oh my god, so many really big buildings. Oh my god, so everything. And then you see cars everywhere. There's like 6 lanes of traffic and you're like, And then sometimes they got the big fucking concrete dividers to one side, and you're to that, and then all of a sudden there's a semi-truck next to you, and then all of a sudden their blinkers on, they want in your lane, and you're like, don't they know I'm here? I'm right here. I don't have a way to get away from you. Oh, fuck. And you're like, okay, do I try to slow down? They go, no, there's a car back there. Like, wait, I gotta speed up, try to move out of the fucking way. But yeah. Outwardly, though, no. Just completely calm, completely quiet. But inwardly, I've gotten that point across. That it's just driving can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially not just roundabouts, but sometimes the other people on the road drive in ways that seem very unsafe and very reckless. But yeah, main point being is that governments will set up whatever system they think benefits their society the most. And at the end of the day, it says, take ancient Israel. The laws that were set up then were designed for ancient Israel to grow as a nation and to basically have a giant population and become an empire. And obviously there's other reasons for it as well. But the main point being is, I don't see anything wrong with it. People should be able to love who they want. They're not hurting anyone. At the same time, it's bigotry either way you go. Now again, you don't have to respect or like one another, but it's not right for people to try to force things on anyone, whether it's a straight person forcing stuff on gay people or gay people trying to force things on straight people. People should be able to respect one another and just accept that people are different from one another and live their own lives. Here's the thing, in general, I'm not really going to be wanting in public advertising how I feel on things. I just want to do what makes me happy and live my life in peace. But yeah, and other people would say, oh, what about Sodom and Gomorrah? God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because they were a bunch of violent rapists. They were known for being murderers, for being violent, for being rapists, for being cannibals, for attacking trade routes and travelers. Basically, Highwayman puts it, lightly. But main thing was that they were extremely violent. Because remember, when the whole issue they were trying to, go after the angels, they were wanting to force themselves onto, and that's gross. I think I feel uncomfortable trying to discuss that part of the topic, but you guys know what I mean. That, why do I feel so uncomfortable even saying that word? But main point was because of they were wanting to rape them. But, because here's the thing, sexuality does not affect, whether or not you're violent. Here's the thing. If you take a straight man that loves big titties and everything, and you put him in a room full of just all the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, that, a bunch of hot, beautiful women, and everyone in the room's naked, just because that guy's straight doesn't mean he's going to try to hurt any of the women. It just means he's going to be awkwardly trying to hide his boner as everyone tries to figure out why they're in a giant room. Okay. I understand the situation wasn't realistic, but I was trying to set up some sort of explanation for my point. The point being is sexuality or gender does not dictate whether or not somebody is violent. If you're gay, it just means what you're attracted to. Same way a straight person around a bunch of big-tittied, beautiful women doesn't mean he's going to hurt anybody. It just means he's going to have an erection and feel very awkward and embarrassed. Doesn't mean he's actually of any possible threat. Whether or not somebody's violent or the kind of despicable, disgusting piece of shit that would want to do, that to another person, that's an individual case-by-case basis. There are people like that of all sexual orientations, of all genders, of all races, religions, nationalities, ethnicities, whatever it is. It's a thing that exists in any group of people. There are people like that. On every part of the world, and every part of society, every point in history. There are people like that. The main point being is that was the problem. It's just the fact that they are violent and they want to do bad things to other people that are non-consensual. So, they're violent, murderers, people that want to do non-consensual things to people. They also cannibal people, and also just in general they were very violent people who want to do bad things to other people. Main point being is, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, race, religion, nationality, ethnicity, there's people in any group that are going to there are going to be people in all of those groups who are going to be like that. That's more so an individual person thing. There isn't like a race of people or a color of, your skin that would dictate some sort of difference on that. People are people, and there's going to be people of a large variety of, differences, like religions, or what part of the world they're from. Heck, at that point, like, oh, this person has blonde hair, and this person has brown eyes or something. Main point being is, your skin color, or what religion you are, or what gender you are, what sexual orientation you are, or what nationality you are, what ethnicity you are, all of these things don't have any effect on whether or not you're a violent person, or the kind of person who would want to do non-consensual things to another person. There's people in every group. But the main point being is, things like gender, or sexual orientation, or religion, or race, or nationality has no effect on that. But there are fucked up people in every group. Main point being is that that's what's wrong. That was the issue with them. They were violent, horrible people who wanted to do non-consensual things to other people, who would also attack travelers and merchants. And they were just extremely violent people. It's also a depressing subject to talk about. I start the video off saying, I'm going to try to be more upbeat and happy, and then I talk about something that's just fucking sad and just distressing. Okay, let's just... Main point being is, back to the game, is life has value even if you're immortal. And life is worth living as long as you're not in too much pain. No, you don't have to experience something to know it exists. I don't think I've ever seen the ocean, but I know the ocean exists. Same way, I've never been to Europe or any of those places, but I know they exist. Same way, I've never been on the moon. I've never ridden in a space shuttle, but I understand, about astronauts and space travel and shit. Yes, I don't need to experience, space travel to know, hey, we've been to the moon. And that's cool. Humans are the only species in question why they exist. Alright, I should be reading it. My nose is stuffy. Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose. That's better. At least I took the headset off first, but that was probably still loud. Drink some more of this soda. I've told you guys, I'm the least professional person on YouTube. Making the dumbest videos in the world. I know this shit's horrible quality. But it's just... this is just what I want to do. What, make shitty videos? Be myself. Like I said, it just... I don't like the idea of editing, plus I don't really want to learn how to do it. I don't want to like write out a fucking script or some bullshit. I just want to talk about whatever's on my mind. I don't want to have to like, oh, I'm trying to order it, make it some concise thing, like I'm making some sort of speech or some shit. Like, no, because at that point I'm just writing a book or something, and it's like, oh, I'm just like a fucking text-to-speech bot or something, like just reading it blandly, like, oh, here's this thing, this is a thing, I'm just listing off some facts. Like, no, I just want to talk about whatever bullshit's on my mind at that moment. Because I just feel the need to talk to somebody, but I'm also extremely antisocial. So yeah. Because more than likely if I had a person physically in front of me to talk about me, one, I'd have to be cautious about who I'm talking to. But even then, it'd be a little bit more nerve-wracking. Heck, I'm like the person who keeps talking about making videos, but I'm unlikely to really do a live stream. Granted, I did some streaming on Twitch, but that's just because I knew nobody was really going to be there. The idea of me actually having a chat audience, I feel like that would be a bit... I'd be nervous. But, you know, I'm actually like talking to people, I'm like, I have no idea what to say. I don't know what to talk about. I still don't know what to talk about. Like, what the fuck have I been talking about? It's like, oh, well, we talked about video games, work, and cock. I mean, and boobies. And tentacle hentai. What kind of conversation is that? I'm not... And granted, yes, in public, in person, I can at least gear conversation to being socially acceptable. But here, I don't have to worry about that. I just talk about whatever pops into my head to say. And it's usually something about hentai, or me being sad, or just some cool Let's Play video I saw that I thought was hilarious. And I'm like, hey guys, check out this other video. I'm making a video where I'm saying, hey, there's this other video that's much better than mine that you should watch, because it's hilarious, and I enjoyed it, and I think you'll enjoy it too. I'm dumb. But yeah, like I said, it's a thing where I can be myself and talk without a filter. Yes. Well, considering the fact that I consider myself a defect, and I feel I'm worthless, so I'm just gonna say I have low self-esteem as my answer. I mean, yeah. When it's all said and done, I've had some shitty stuff happen, but at the end of the day, I have no regrets. If I had to go back and do everything over again, one, honestly, I don't think I'd be able to emotionally survive everything again. I think I would just die. But, main point, if I had a choice of going back and changing the past, I would refuse. Like, if I had a magical wish granting genie that said, hey, you can go back in the past and change things, I would say no. Like I said, I've had some shitty things happen in life, but I have no regrets. Do you believe that sometimes good people do bad things? Yes. Would you help someone who wronged you in the past? Depends on the person. But if they pissed me off enough, no. Would you continue to be friends with someone who betrayed you? Depends on the betrayal. Like, there might be some issues I might have had an issue where I might be forgiving. But again, if you betrayed me in a certain way, fuck you. Do you believe you're gifted? No? No, I feel like I have a complete lack of any talents. But like I was saying earlier, like I'll try to remind myself, hey, I graduated with honors. I had a 4.0. I did calculus, physics, chemistry. Heck, I remember when I was 12 doing like IQ tests, 132 to like 145. And it's like, what's the point of reminding yourself that? Because I had a lot of times where people were just calling me, beating the shit out of me, telling me I'm stupid, telling me I'm worthless, saying that I'm retarded, or I'm a FAGGOT. And everyone's like, why are you censoring yourself on that? Because it made me feel sad to want to say it out loud. But obviously my insecurities about my mental state can't be that bad if I was willing to say the R word really loud. Then again, I'm constantly cussing at myself and telling myself I'm a R word all the time in my head, or that I'm garbage, or that I have no value. But hey, my low self-esteem aside, I do at least try to remind myself of certain academic accolades that I have to try to boost my own self-esteem. Heck, I did some IQ tests a few months ago. It said like about 118. So 118, which is lower, but then again, I've had like a dozen fevers of 106, even one of 107. I've had meningitis, monoencephalitis, swelling of the brain and spine, a spinal tap. I've had numerous concussions. I've been hit by a truck. I've been poisoned. I've been hit in the head a lot of times. Also, apparently depression's supposed to have a negative effect on self-esteem. I mean, that too. On IQ. Plus, it's just, like, you're supposed to, I don't know if I'd be able to redo calculus. Like, if I try to learn that stuff again, I don't know if I'd be able to learn it or function with it. Then again, I'm always trying to learn constant different things, and I just can't, stay on one subject, but also, a lot of times I'm like, I'm just tired, I want to get some sleep or play a game. I have to go back to work and all this stuff, and it's just like, life tends to be a bit overwhelming and exhausting, and heck, I tend to procrastinate on things. It's kind of like, oh, when are you going to date? I don't know, I'll get around to it. I'm going to procrastinate on that too. Then it's just, on the one hand, wild, lonely, and horny. Also, for now, no. But, what the fuck are we talking about? IQ stuff. Why? Something about saying bad words to myself? I don't know. I just know when I was younger. I mean, there was a lot of times where I got the shit kicked out of me. And anytime I did try to fight back, it usually wound up being people coming back with even greater numbers. And of course, there were some times where I had to fight back a bit more seriously. And again, I never killed anyone. I never seriously really hurt people. But again, that was in life and death situations. I still felt bad for having to do that. It's just, there are situations where, people are strangling you. People are beating you excessively. People are trying to kill you or stab you or stuff. And I'm just depressing myself again. The main point being is that I've never hurt anybody unless it was in self-defense. And there was a lot of scenarios where if I had not defended myself, I wouldn't be alive anymore. So you don't have to feel bad about doing things that kept you from dying. Just because there were lots of scenarios where people beat the fucking shit out of you while saying very hurtful things to you, doesn't mean you deserve to feel that way. We're going to try to have a positive effect on self-esteem. But mainly, I don't view I am, but I don't really know how to respond. I agree. It is, regardless of how bad a relationship can go, it is better to have had a relationship. And again, if anyone out there hasn't had one yet, then just give it time. I hope the best for you. I mean, heck, I've been alone for a long time at this point, and there has been most of my life consisted of a lot of long stretches of being single. Heck, not counting my minuscule attempts at online dating, which honestly, I wouldn't recommend online dating to people. That's just, it feels kind of dehumanizing with just how poorly that goes. And keep in mind, that says something given what I'm about to say. I would say in person, my attempts at actually asking women out, I would say I've at least had 10,000 plus women tell me no. Then again, I've had a handful, if anything, I'd say a couple handfuls of women who, were interested in me that I went on dates with. I've had a few relationships. Like I said, obviously all of them ended poorly because, I'm single. And heck, I would say every single partner I've ever had has cheated on me. So that's kind of depressing. But I at least know what it's like to be rejected a lot. And to feel non-desirable. And I know what it's like to be alone a lot. Granted, even if I had a long-term relationship, I'd still want to go for walks and spend some time by myself. I mean, I am a bit of an introverted person, and while I probably behave like a fucking puppy when it comes to dating, where I tend to be overly loving and affectionate to whoever I'm dating, I still do value my alone time. To just I be the weird son of a bitch I am that just talks to himself, or play some video games, or go for a walk, or just sit at the park and watch some clouds float by in the sky. Yes, it's nice to sit at a fucking park on a fucking swing, eating some Frank's Red Hot Sauce and some McDonald's chicken nuggets while watching the clouds float by. Yes, I know it's not productive, but it was a nice chill sort of thing to do. I like doing that. Plus, I'll sometimes go to McDonald's, get the little McFlurries, ice cream and M&M's. Yay! Yes, I'm fat and I like ice cream. I go to Dairy Queen a lot more than is probably healthy for me. But I like ice cream. Heck, I remember one time there was a Godiva store. They had dark chocolate soft serve ice cream with some vanilla bean stuff. It was delicious. I'm like, when is Dairy Queen going to get that? That was so good. It's like, Lunar's just talking about ice cream now. Yes, ice cream is delicious. Main point being is, I know what it's like to be alone a lot of times and feel sad things that I don't want to talk about because I'm depressing myself. But main point is, and I've also been alone for quite a few years now. It's been what? No, it's actually going on 8 years of me not dating anyone or anything. Heck, with the exception of blood relatives, I don't even remember what a hug feels like. So I don't know. Main point being is, if you guys have not had a relationship yourself, I believe in you more than I believe in myself. Main point is this. Yes. The answer is yes. Just stick to the yes, no. We don't need to go off on these tangents every fucking time. Nope, I've never self-sabotaged anything. It just sort of fucking happens. Do you ever feel like a sponge absorbing them? It's called being an empath, and yes, it's overwhelming, and just one more thing to make me feel the constant... It's like, you think I would stop complaining about having nervous breakdowns when it's my fucking normal state of being anymore? But yes. Do you ever feel like a mirror reflecting them? I do kind of adapt that way sometimes. But I think that's normal. I don't think that's really an unusual thing. Or special or anything. It's just human. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's actually kind of depressing trying to remember the last time I actually accomplished a goal. Because everything in my life is just me failing. But I still enjoy trying. And there's still some gains. At the very minimum, it's just... I know I'm not going to be a success at anything, but I still enjoy trying. Think so? Hell yes. And I understand that might be a little bit arrogant of me to say, but I have a very obsessive personality. I sometimes have a hard time relaxing. And people are like, are you going to smoke weed now that it's legal? No. Because I don't think it would be a good idea to introduce psychedelics into mental illness. So even though marijuana is now legal for recreational use here, I'm not going to smoke. Because I don't think that would be a good mix with my personality or my mental state or my mind. I don't think that would be healthy or well advised. Everyone's like, what do you guys think about us doing? I'm like, I think that if anyone out there is considering it, just talk to your doctor. Because I think that's kind of a major issue. But again, I don't see anything really wrong with it. But again, talk to a doctor just to be safe. And I would recommend that if you do, try a lower dose first. Because, it's like there's people out there that drink alcohol. I'm not a drinker myself, but I'd say the most important advice would be, other than don't drive, is know your limits. You don't want to get, there's so many times I've seen people throwing up and puking their guts out. And it's just, why would you want to be like that? Why would you want to be sick? Why would you want to feel miserable? So, I don't know, be responsible and be nice to yourself, I guess, or something. I don't know. Yes. Yes. Probably. Been hit in the head so many fucking times. Isn't that kind of what I'm doing right now? Yeah, it's a goal, but it's never really attainable. But I'll go with yes. Probably, I have no idea what. Probably not have anything of value. Yep. Yeah, I think it's called cold reading, right? Objectively, yes. But, I mean, if you're enjoying yourself, then it's cool. It's kind of like you went to a... I've never been to a Rammstein concert, but I would certainly wouldn't consider that a waste. It doesn't accomplish anything, but... Heck, I remember being younger and my mom cooking meals and just sitting in the kitchen talking to her about things. I mean, did it accomplish anything? No! But I just enjoyed talking to her. So I'm gonna go with no. I'm not even sure I'll be alive. all in all, I think I've still been rational and cautious when it comes to life decisions. Yes. I really hope so. Yes. To a degree, yes. Yes. I meant to click no, but the D-pad didn't work. I mean, I understand respecting authority, but at the same time I get pissed off because basically there's times that there's been authority figures that have been assholes to me. So it's not so much an issue of authority so much as an issue of being told I'm, we're being mistreated. Would you run your own country? I don't think I'd be... I would definitely need help. I don't think I really understand how to manage things. I'm hoping that life gets better, but I also feel very worried at all times that everything's just going to go to shit. Yes, I had a hunch. Are you afraid of what your future may hold? I think everyone is. Hopeful, but also afraid. So, both things. Strong, controversial opinions that you avoid. Well, yeah, but don't we all? Not really. Yes, I am weird. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things I just can't do anything about. I mean, that would be nice, but it's very rare. I'd like to be able to relax, yes. Why do we get Thunder Thing? The storm doesn't seem to be letting up. Now does it? That's alright. We've still got so much to talk about Wanderer. As long as I don't get distracted anymore and keep talking, I'm sure everyone's... If anyone's even listened to the video. It's like... What the fuck? How would you even describe this video? Random crazy guy talks about random bullshit and it's just dumb and weird. Have you ever held regret for something terrible you might have done? I don't think I've ever hurt anyone except, a scenario where honestly they deserved worse. But yeah, I've never done anything wrong. You ever played victim even though you... Absolutely not. Have you ever lied to get someone in trouble? Nope. Have you ever failed to tell the truth to keep someone out of trouble? Would you consider yourself to be traditional? I think so. Does your mood tend to change drastically with the changing of the seasons? I mean, I try to behave in a normal, stable, stoic way, but I do have emotions that tend to vary quite a bit. But again, when we all have emotions, it just... I'm gonna go with yeah. But it's like, so my emotions change a lot, but I try to behave in a stable way. Do you oftentimes feel guilty for things you know? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but I kind of expect. Not that I can think of. Do you feel as strong? Yes. That is a nice feeling. No, I would say despair or dread. I feel impulsive things, but I actually have very strong impulse control. So I'll go no. I am extremely obsessive when I'm passionate about something. There is not a yes strong enough for this answer. Have you ever pondered what the best way to dispose of a body? Does it count if I'm thinking about my own body? Okay, stop being depressing. Okay? Would I actually become spaghetti? Everyone's like, are you making a Rick and Morty reference? Maybe. We're just gonna go with no. Probably depends on the body, but I'm gonna go with no. Well, it's not that I mean, I like compliments, but at the same time, like, I know they're not true. Yes. Yes! I think so. Oh my god, you have no idea. Yeah. Yep. I'll go yeah. Yeah. I try really hard. Whether or not I succeed or not, I don't know, but I try. Hell yes. Oh my god. I think that's been kind of what I've been talking about. Back and forth for the past however long this video has been. Basically, I have emotional issues. I'm trying to cope and be better with them. Will I ever? Probably not. I'm probably going to be damaged for the rest of eternity. I could be immortal and live millions of years. I am probably still going to have emotional issues. Yeah, I'm just saying you can't beat the shit out of someone over and over and over again and have multiple situations in multiple different areas of your life where you're constantly being told how worthless you are and feel constantly just mistreated and scared and hurt. Like, that has an effect, especially later in life when you still feel like you're a failure at everything and you feel basically alone and unloved and just like everything is just out of your control. So yes. Yes. That'll probably be for the rest of fucking time. Yeah. Does it count as worrying if I'm pretty much assume that everyone just completely hates me? I mean, I can't worry about something if I've already decided what the... It's like, oh, are you worried about being struck by lightning? Well, I'm already holding this giant wrench up in the sky, waiting for the lightning bolt to hit me. So why would I be worried about something that I know is going to happen? So why would I be worried that somebody's going to hate me when I'm pretty sure everyone already does? I've made the joke that I'm a tsundere, because I constantly say I don't give a shit about the viewer. But I do! It's just I expect that everything is going to go terribly, and I don't want to get any kind of hopes or expectations up. Because then when everything goes to shit, because I'm an utter fucking failure, I'll then feel disappointed and sad. So if I have no fucking expectations that anybody would even be remotely okay with me, then I won't feel hurt. But in general, I would like to actually make a few videos that actually people enjoyed and laugh at. But here, I think Resident Evil 7 or the Perfect Apocalypse series, I think those are funny videos. Or my Sega Genesis thing. Or the All the Neckos Are Meowing for Head Pats video. That's pretty good. That was pretty good for a laugh. Just so you're aware, it will be... Now, I'm almost done with you. Just a few more questions, Wanderer. Would you rather love or be loved? I want to be... Is it better to live a long, mediocre life or a short, fulfilling one? I don't know. I would like to live longer, yes. Would you rather have inner beauty or outer beauty? I mean, if I had outer beauty, maybe more people would actually like me, but inner beauty matters more. I don't know. I'm selfish. I am both! Oh, which one do you choose? I would rather do, I would just make sure you get to bed early, but I have issues waking up and going to bed, but I'd imagine if you were able to sleep well, that you would get up. I think they go hand in hand. I don't want to be the center of attention or anything, because that's too much pressure. I mean, heck, I'm pretty used to being invisible. But at the same time, I've also been at the point where the center of the attention is, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me, so I'd rather be ignored than be treated badly. Ooh, moonlight, yes. I like KFC, okay. I need to sleep more. As long as it's somebody I would trust. Why is it selfish? I find your answers very intriguing, Wanderer. I believe I got to know you even better than before. I'd like to thank you for allowing me a second opportunity. It's truly been an honor analyzing someone of your depth. I suppose a deal is a deal, isn't it? Allow me to grant you a gift. This is the gift of insight. Wanderer, I will tell you what I see deep within you. Please listen to my words carefully as I drink some more lemonade soda. For they contain the trapped essence of your soul. I'm gonna eat donuts after this. Interesting, Wanderer. Tell me something. How does it feel to know how to love, but struggle to feel loved yourself? At least in the same capacity. If nothing else, you do know the feeling I speak of, yes? The feeling of longing for more. Equal effort and reciprocation, Wanderer. Giving so much to others, yet receiving so very little. You must wonder where things went so wrong. Was it your childhood? Was it later in life? What happened, Wanderer? Or is it happening? Right now, you've put in so much work. You've gotten so far with so very little, and yet you don't take enough pride in that, Wanderer. You've accomplished a lot more than you realize, and there's so much more ahead. You really should take more time to celebrate the small victories just as much as the big ones. You are so overly critical of yourself. That same beautiful mind of yours can be such a dark place, can't it? Multifaceted you are, multidimensional to say the least. You've always known how different you are, Rest, but you don't quite fully understand how, do you? Different is not a bad thing, Wanderer. Not in the slightest. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. You've got far more going for you than you realize. A brighter future than what the darkness shrouds, and that void within you will one day be filled. Not all who wander are lost, my friend. The more pressure you put on yourself, the more likely you are to achieve what you long for. Free yourself from the shackles of your mind, and allow yourself to live. You deserve so much more than what you've given yourself. You are in control, Wanderer, even though it doesn't always feel like it. If you could see the future I see, your soul would be filled with nothing but joy and happiness. But it's not that easy now, is it? No, of course not. But that's okay, Wanderer, because eventually you'll see what I see too, and eventually you will be smiling the way you deserve. I can promise you that. Heed these words, Wanderer. They will keep you on your journey forward, if you let them. Once again, I want to give you a parting gift before I take my leave. A simple gesture, if you will. One singular word. And that gifted word, Wanderer, is proud. Remember this word moving forward, Vegeta, for it will help you in ways you couldn't possibly fathom. Trust me on that. And with that, I take my leave. Until next time, Wanderer. Okay. Mirror on the wall. Show me truth. Tell me all. Okay. To what do I owe this pleasure, Watcher? Oh, just admiring my masterpiece. You are too kind, Watcher. Though we both know that while you may have put me back together, my existence surpasses even your own. I am not your masterpiece. You can't go anywhere unless I say you can, Mir. Whether you like it or not, you belong to me. Now tell me, who is the Fate Weaver visiting next? What use is this information to you, Watcher? That is none of your business. Now answer my question. I may not be able to traverse the other side freely as I once could, but I do not take orders from you, Watcher. Besides, not even I am privy to the actions of the Fate Weaver before they're made. Ask me after the Weaver has made their visit, and perhaps my answer could be different. It would be too late to be of any use to me by then. I must know before that beast makes their visit. Well then, I'd say you're out of luck, Watcher. Is there anything else I can help you with? Blasted mirror. Why did I bother rebuilding you? I should have minded my own business after the shattering and left you in pieces, scattered across the other side where you belong. Wonderful. My feelings for you are mutual, Watcher. I'm glad we had this conversation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to do absolutely nothing and pretend that you no longer exist. Good day, Watcher. I will remember this, Mira. You can't keep the Fate Weaver from me forever. I believe I said good day, Watcher. Yes. Good day, Mira. Okay. Thank you for playing this game. Will we ever play that? I don't know. But we'll go and call that a video. It's probably been a very long video. Oh my god, it's been about 3 hours. Okay. Well, I hope everyone out there has a good day. Ah, my back hurts. Anyway, hope everyone has all the hugs and head pats you could ever want. Hope everyone sleeps well. And have good showers, I guess? I don't know. Later, guys.